Good evening, viewers across the globe. My name is Joe Ehizode of Platform Media International Political Arena. Lately, there has been a lot of turbulence in the state of Nigeria called Edo State. The ruling political party, Action National Congress, I thought I got that correct, APC, and the opposition, PDP, have been warring against each other in the presentation of the gubernatorial candidate. As a matter of fact, as I speak to you, the incumbent governor, or Governor Baseki of Edo State, who was the governor under APC, has crossed camp from APC to the opposition, PDP. And his former opponent, Eze Yamu, has also moved over to APC as the gubernatorial candidate in the September elections. Tonight, I have my very good friend and brother in the studio, and he's in Nigeria, Lagos. I can tell you straight away that he is so much involved in the politics of Edo State. His name is Barista Kukei Umoye. Kukei, welcome to the program.
Good evening, sir. It's a pleasure to be on this program.
Yes, I brought you because I know you are one of the, let's say, you are one of the principal actors in the APC, correct?
I'm a stakeholder of the APC.
Stakeholder, right.
Yes.
Now, give us a background to this crisis. It's because it's amazing that the governor, the incumbent governor, Governor Baseki, who was a candidate of APC in the last election, is cross carpets to the PDP for the elections in September. That is unimaginable. How did you get here?
Okay, I need to give you a preview. Prior to his emergence as the candidate for APC in 2016, we had other stakeholders, formidable members, who were aspiring to be the candidate for APC back then. The likes of the Deputy Governor, Dr. Pius Odubu, and Barrister Osarodion Ogie. These were the two formidable aspirants then. But from nowhere, I was called and I was asked to come to Benin from Lagos. Thereafter, I was told when I got to Benin that Comrade Oshomole has penciled down Obaseki as the person we need to follow. We were down to, because we wanted to defer to our comrade governor. Now, we all worked very hard for his emergence. And I'll let you know one thing. He was never known by most people. The only thing they sold to us, which was like a kite, that he was the chairman of the economic committee. And I give it to him. He did well because he was the engine room of the economic activity of that regime. So it was not too hard to sell his candidature. He won, and today we are where we are today. He did not know how to manage that gift.
When you say he was not able to manage the gift, you give so-called because it was like his candidacy was presented to him on a platter of gold, correct?
Very correct.
Then what you mean by gift is that, he was not able to manage. What do you mean by manage?
Management is not about running the government per se. You also have to manage those stakeholders and other people who are part of the society. Firstly, I need to talk about his mismanagement of the APC members. No sooner he emerged as the governor, he gave an order that he is not going to welcome anybody in the government house. And it's not done anywhere. Who does that? You must interact with people who are stakeholders in the state, not just your party members. But when you shut the door and you are the custodian of our commonwealth, it's not something anybody will appreciate.
Okay, Barrister Kukei, one of the accusations leveled against the governor is the fact that he refused to carry Oshomole's boys in quotes. I give you an example of the boys that I mean, Kabaka and his cohorts, what I would call the dregs of the society in Benin, that Oshomole had used to terrorize his opponent. That Obaseki now said, time is over for you, I want to face governance. And that's one of the principal crimes he committed that Oshomole found it not useful at this time. So what do you say to that?
Unfortunately, using that word drug is derogatory for people like Kabaka or no more less. Prior to his emergence, those were the people he was hobnobbing with.
Mm-hmm.
These are people who have control over some party members. And somebody like no more less contributed immensely, same thing with Kabaka, towards his emergence. Apart from being with him during the campaign, they contributed money. I can tell you this, and you can go to the bank with this. They contributed money for his campaign. So when you now turn around, I won't want to say they are dregs. It's most unfortunate. In America,
that language is not mine. I found it on internet. They call them drug society.
No, they are not.
Okay.
No, they are not.
Okay. So the reason why I figured that they call them drug society is the fact that these are people who are not lettered. They have nothing marginal to contribute to the values of government. All they had, according to what I read online, is the fact that they command followership in the motor parks, and they also have the threat of violence at their disposal. Is this correct?
That's very untrue. Kabaka, if you recall, owns a business. He's into hospitality business. He had a hotel that was destroyed by the same Obaseki. So also no more less. No more less is into dredging. You can't call such a person a dreg. You know, they have contributed to the well-being of our society, particularly in those states. They are into different kind of business, and they pay their tax to the government. So these are assets to the collective and not otherwise.
You people in APC, how are you going to confront this monster of the video that is trending on the social media of the former APC chairman of Governor Shomoale calling your candidate Ezeyamu a robber, a violent man, a misfit? How are you going to confront that? Don't you see you have a high holder in front of you?
Not at all. I want you to juxtapose that with what Obasanjo said about Atiku prior to the last election between Atiku and Buhari. The same things he said about him were swallowed during the election.
But Atiku didn't win.
He did not win. He did not win. But for whatever it is worth, these are political slogans. It comes with such baggages, you know.
And
there's nothing like. No, it's not about being forgiven. No, it's not about being forgiven. You see, these are things. There's nothing you don't do when you're in politics. Look at today in America. You know things they say about Trump, crotch grabber, tax evader, a liar, but he's the president of the new world. So talk can be cheap when you're in an election period. I, for one, I want us to look at the pedigree of Pastor Eze-Iyamu. He's not just anybody. He's a special breed. I need to let you know. He was one-time chief of staff, one-time secretary to the government, and one-time director general to the same Comrade Obasaki, Comrade Oshomole, when he contested in 2016. How can you call such a person a misfit? For whatever it is worth, talk can be cheap. But today, if he's that bad, Oshomole will not go looking for him to come and be the candidate for APC.
Yeah, because it's going to be a tough sell. All Obasaki has to do now is to just be playing that on social media and television, and he doesn't need to campaign, right?
No. I will tell you something now.
Yes.
Obasaki today is the governor. If you recall, not too long during the PDP primaries, we had about billions of monies being used to secure the ticket for PDP. How is he going to wish that away? When just yesterday here, there was a shower of less than 1 hour, and the whole GRA was flooded. He needs to explain that. I'm from Igwebe, Ekpon particular, Ward 10 in Igwebe Local Government Council. The only secondary school that was built, or that's in that community, was built by the people there. And that got burned 2 years ago. No government personality came there to inspect or talk about how they can remedy the situation. That community today can only be remembered in the election season.
Okay, Barrister, so, you just mentioned a town, of course, which incidentally is where I come from too.
Yeah, we're both from
How are you going to sell APC to our people? Because our only secondary school was burned down many years ago, and it has not been rebuilt. And also, I'm aware that people are afraid to come out because of the threat of herdsmen. We don't have security. We don't have schools. We don't have the presence of government. Now, tell me, how do you sell a party like that to our people?
It's very simple. Change is the mattress. If for almost 4 years, the man driving the vehicle is sleeping, you know very well. Anytime he goes anywhere, he's always sleeping. Selling the candidature of Pastor Eze-Iyamu won't be a problem. The major stakeholders from that time have resolved that we're going to change the narrative in our community. So that can be a problem. More so, some of us had a meeting with Pastor Eze-Iyamu, and we told him the problems we are having, and those are in his to-do list by the time he emerges as the governor of Edo State, come September 19.
I'm interested in that. Let me quickly also take you to the Igbodo-Ekpon Road.
Okay.
That was gazetted long time ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Why
has government refused to have an impact on that road, sir?
When a government is irresponsible, these are the kind of questions people will ask. When Oshomole was campaigning for his second tenure, he was in Ekpon, and he sang with that road. Ekpon Igbodo Road must be done. And before he left, that same road was tokenized in the budget, though money was not marked, but it was there. Subsequently, the outgone Speaker of the State, Right Honorable Justin Okonobo, who is from that same town, tried to mark some money there. That was when Obasaki was there. And anytime some of us, the stakeholders, go to meet the governor, he will tell us, I have other things to deal with. Governance is not restricted to any place. You spread it around. So for Pastor Eze-Iyamu, for us to key to his candidature, we made him understand that Ekpan-Igbodo Road must be done. And not just because it is within our community, but because of the significant role that road will play. That's the road that leads to the food basket of Edo State.
Even to the east, remember, to Abuja.
Yeah, that's the food basket. The then Benin Owana River Basin is situated on that road. And that's the outpost to Delta State. And if I take you back, years ago, about 20, 30 years ago, there used to be an alternate road for the Easterners that go to Ozigolo or other places to trade, or to the northern part of Nigeria. It was a very popular road that, because of maladministration in our system, they have allowed it to go the way it is right now.
Okay, Barista, you are a stakeholder in APC, and I respect that. We're happy about that. As I'm talking to you, somebody just tweeted to me to ask you this question. Why should Ekpan, for instance, complain? We've had, as small as we are, we had people as chairman of that local government. We had the privilege of producing number 3, the speakership of Edo State. The only thing that we have not produced is the governor. And yet there's no government presence. What do you say to people like that who are complaining about this?
I will tell them to direct their questions to the personalities involved.
Great.
You know, the hood never makes the monk.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the general politics in Edo State. You have Governor Shomale. Okay, he's no longer the party chairman anymore. Let's not argue with that. Let's talk about godfatherism in Edo State. Your former leader Shomale fought against godfatherism, and he fought the late Chief Anene to a standstill in 2011 or so, before he became governor.
Yes.
Can he not be accused now of doing the same thing he accused Chief Anene for?
That would be most unkind to the person of Comrade Shomale. I need to let you know the genesis of the problem in Edo State. It was not between Oshomole and Obaseki. It was between Obaseki and the stakeholders that he could not manage.
Okay.
And even when Comrade Oshomole tried to tell him what to do, well, he was very recalcitrant. Very, very recalcitrant. I'm from Ekpan. And we tried to draw his attention to the degradation going on in our community, lack of governance. The only thing we can say we had was a statutory position of the councillor. However, even when we had the speaker, you remember his time there was turbulent. But again, I'll let you have this for free. What does it take a government to sit down with stakeholders to map out a way forward for the development of the common good of the populace? You can't be an island having been the custodian of a commonwealth. You must engage people. Today, you mentioned about herdsmen. There's nothing about security issues, but we hear about people collecting 700 or 800 million monthly for security votes. In my town, not too long ago, we had issues with herdsmen. It took the kind gesture or some kind-hearted members of our community to raise money to avert what would have been a bloodbath with the herdsmen. Who does that? He's answerable to us. He should allow his head to go through the door by listening to others. That's what governance is all about. You must be responsible, you must listen and be proactive. All these qualities are not something you can ascribe to Governor Obaseki.
What your estimation and projection? What are the chances of Ezeyam from 1 to 10, sir?
I gave him 7 for now.
7 for now. You still have about, well, we have 2 months to go. Let's see how that plays out. Barrister, I'm so excited to have you in the studio. I'm going to hold you to your word, especially as it concerns Ekpon, where we come from, and especially for Edo State. You are a stakeholder, I'm very sure about that. You have showed viewers across the globe who are watching us that the electorates, especially in Edo State, will have what we call the benefits of government in this dispensation if Ezeyamu wins. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can show you one thing. Let us disregard what we see on social media.
Okay.
Because social media can be skewed towards misinformation. But what is on ground today, I don't see how Obaseki can make it a second time.
Okay. Well, for those who have interest in your political party, PDP, that is very refreshing. And perhaps
no, sorry, sir. My party is not PDP.
Oh, APC. Sorry about that.
Thank you very much, sir.
That's a crime that is not going to be forgiven in this political dispensation.
No.
All right. For those who are listening, who have interest in APC, which is your party, and especially for some of us who are from that town and the states who have interest in what government brings to the town, that would be refreshing. And I want to commend you for the efforts that you are making. I hope the best wins by those states, and I hope the best comes to the town where we come from. And I want to appreciate you for all the good work you are doing. Keep shining. Promise.
Thank you very much. I can assure you something now, that whatever we are doing is selfless. We have our responsibility as our community, but nobody can come back home. Nobody will do that if we don't go back home to let the people know the right thing to do. One thing about governor is being responsible. You have to be responsible to the electorates and the citizens. Quality security, responsible governance. I, for one, was among the apostles that tried to market Obaseki to our people. But today, I'm ashamed that I was part of all that. And I can assure you that Pastor Ezeyamu, being who he is a grassroots person. If you follow his pedigree, he's going to deliver. That I can show you.
Very reassuring to the people who have interest in your political party. And for us on Political Arena Platform Media International, we want to thank you for coming to the program. We request that anytime we ask of you for in this program, that you please oblige us with your presence. Is that a promise, sir?
I will always indulge you because I know your pedigree too.
Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure to be here.
And good luck with the elections. Perhaps I'm going to call on you again before the elections or after the elections, all right?
Just a day away, I'll be with you.
Okay. My regards to everybody. Keep safe and let your regards to your family. Ladies and gentlemen, those who are watching, this is Platform Media International Political Arena. My guest is Barista Kukei Umoye, who is a stakeholder in the ruling APC of Edo State. He has given you bit by bit of the origin of the crisis in Edo State. It's not only in APC, it's also in PDP. So we want to see what is going on and how it will pan out. I just wish there will not be any violence in Edo State because we eschew violence. And
I can assure you from 2 weeks' time, PDP is going to implode.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, sir.
Yes.
And
thank you very much
once again, and I wish you the best of luck. Have a good night.
Thank you very much, sir. Good night, sir.
Our viewers catch us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. This is Platform Media International Political Arena. My name is Joe Ehizode. Wishing you a good, happy night rest. Barista Kukei, have a good night, sir.
Good night, sir. Bye.
Bye-bye.